world. This is Shauna with DisruptApps LLC once again, and today I would like to talk about EXIF, metadata, which you may or may not be aware of, exists in JPEG and TIFF files, and every time that you take a picture with your digital camera, be it a handheld camera or on your smartphone, every time you take a digital picture, you're going to have EXIF data embedded into your JPEG file that creates. Now, I made this website again for demonstration purposes, and here's a little image that I made, like if you're on vacation. What an EXIF EXIF data will do, not intentionally, but it can fingerprint you. And in this video, I'm going to explain the EXIF metadata and how it can be used to fingerprint you in nefarious ways. So, to get started, I wrote this out, and basically how your picture's metadata, EXIF metadata, can fingerprint you. Exchangeable Image File Format, EXIF, is a standardized format found in digital images created by digital cameras, smartphone cameras, and scanners. EXIF metadata is stored within images created by cameras in JPEG and TIFF files, generally speaking, and can also be found in audio files. EXIF metadata creates meta tags that record various types of data about your camera, including your camera's make, model, shutter speed, focal length, date, time, and GPS location, and more. When you take a picture, the EXIF data is encoded and added to the digital image itself. You generally don't see this information, but you can access that data in photo editing software and other programs out there. While this information may seem benign, this information can be used to quote-unquote fingerprint you or your camera. The EXIF metadata in your images may be used as digital forensic evidence, linking you and or your camera to being at a certain location or event. This data could easily be abused by various entities, from various agencies, governments, corporations, and advertisers. EXIF data is yet another way big tech and data companies spy, monitor, and potentially monetize your personal metadata. So I made this, again, I work with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. And PHP has a way that you can look at metadata, including EXIF metadata. So I have some test images here that I have, and I have some files here. So I have some files that have GPS and don't have GPS. And my cameras, I have turned off GPS. So I'm going to pull up a picture from Japan here, and I'm going to load this into my EXIF extracting. So I have it here, I have the preview, and I'm going to extract it with PHP. So this current photo's EXIF metadata. So you can see here on the left, you have all these things, all these attributes, or all these things that are embedded in this photo that you have. And you can see here you have latitude and longitude. And in this photo, I don't have GPS turned on and off because I manually turn it off. But if you go through all these meta tags and all these attributes, and you can see, you have your name, your time here, which I believe is a Linux time. You have your width, you have your height. It's all here. And then you come down here, you see the MIME type. And then here's where it gets interesting. This make and model. So in this case, this Samsung SM-A125U is the embedded camera that is in my smartphone. So they can look, you can tag your smartphone with this. And then you can come here and you can see MediaTek camera application. And I'm not going to go all through all these tags, but you can see all this data, all this metadata can be used to fingerprint you in your camera. Now let me go ahead and open up a image that I do have GPS enabled in, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. I'm going to open it and get the preview, get the EXIF information. Boom. How about that? Look right here, latitude. You have your north and longitude and east. So for fun, let's go on here on a maps. I'm going to plug in, I'm going to plug in these coordinates into maps here, and boom, it shows you where that photo was taken. And I will verify that this was taken in U Beach in Japan. So, you know, just to show, you know, this is a live street view of it, which, you know, you can see here it corresponds pretty well to what, you know, I lived and worked and traveled in Japan. So yeah, you can basically, this is how with data forensics, they can put you at a certain place in time, because in here you have your latitude and longitude coordinates, and then where is it? The date and time here. So now another way, I want to show you that how it actually can look at different cameras, because with these Node GPS, you know, I have, these are taken from 3 different cameras. So here's an old photo I have. I'm going to open it, run it, and at this, you know, I don't have latitude or longitude, but you know, you scroll down through here, through all this data, and you have a Canon make and model, Canon PowerShot. This was an old camera that I had with this particular picture. So they can go through and they can find what camera you're using. Here, I'll open this bridge photo here, and I'll run the program, and I'll scroll down here, and then here you have the, you know, make and model of the camera. That's just another place where it is. It's a Sony DSC-HX200V, which is a camera that I bought in Japan and I've been using for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this one again. Open up, this is a picture of Iwakuni Castle, and I'll come through here, and then once again you have Samsung SM-A125U, which they can digitally forensically, you know what I mean, they can use digital forensics to do your camera, that it was a camera within your smartphone, because that was a smartphone image. So I built this program, this extractor, a few years ago, and I also have a scrubber where it basically scrubs all this information out. That'll be part of my super app that I've been working on. But here's a website, you know, just for reference, that I'll put the link to this website in the description, but this website, it looks ancient, but it's really good and straightforward. It gives a good explanation of the EXIF file format and how it kind of basically works. And I'm not going to go over all the tags, but you can come to this website and discover for yourself that it has all these tags that can be put into your images. And it just depends on your camera and what software your camera uses, what tags will be put into your EXIF metadata. So it's quite a bit amount, quite a lot of data that can be put into your images. So let me bring up a couple of things that I made. So basically I made this diagram, simple, that how this fingerprinting can be used as digital forensics. So let's say you go out and you're on vacation or whatever, and you go out and you use your digital camera or your smartphone, and then you just take a raw JPEG and you don't filter out that metadata, right? So you take that JPEG and then you load it up to the internet, to, you know, a cloud storage, an app, social media, or whatever, you know, whatever thing you put it on out on the web. So what any of these companies or apps or whatever could do is they can extract your EXIF data. And what they can do is they can sell that data to advertisers, data brokers, and they can plug it into their AI for whatever reason, or they can give it to 3-letter agencies, and they can create a digital fingerprint. Think about that. They can create a digital fingerprint of your JPEG file that can trace you back to this camera. And if you know, they can use digital forensics because all this is recorded through logs on the servers and IP addresses, and they can trace this back all the way back to whatever router or phone or whatever IP address you upload your photo to. You know, sorry, you know what I mean. Take your whatever camera IP address you use to route to the cloud or your desktop or laptop. Now, let's give a real-world implication of how this might happen, why this is so important, and just say that you're living under some authoritarian regime where you have the legal and or constitutional right to protest. And let's say that you upload pictures and images of the protest. Well, what can happen is, well, hey, you're at this protest. I took a picture with my camera or smartphone, just, you know, being there, standing up for my right to protest and peacefully assembly and demonstrate. Well, at that protest, you load this up to the cloud, boom. They've got real-time information, real-time data that you were at this protest. You took this picture, you put it into this application, cloud storage, social media, etc., and then they can pipe it to whomever they want at request. Because you attended a protest that some regime, some entity did not approve or like. So again, I'm here to do public service announcements and educate people about technology and its good and bad sides, and I am not advocating, I don't protest, that's not my style, but I don't condone any violent protesting. I condone peaceful protesting, you know, and doing things properly. So, but I don't want to go off on that tangent, but I just wanted to make this video to let the public know that EXIF metadata exists. It exists in your camera. It gets encoded into the files, your JPEG files, TIFF files that you can upload to the internet, and you can upload to whatever, you know, app you're using in cloud storage, and then that data, all this data here, all this data, let me once again for reinforcement, let me pull up my GPS. All that data, your latitude, longitude, everything you see here in this EXIF metadata. There's some errors, I'm not worried about that, but all this metadata can and most likely will be funneled into the cloud, into some tech company, extracted, and then wind up here. So once again, this is Shauna with DisruptApps LLC, just doing a public service announcement and end user education for the betterment of humanity and human knowledge of technology. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.